Have you ever thought your desire to succeed might be keeping you trapped? Well, for a few years for myself, I've had a strong desire to succeed, and that has quite possibly held me back from doing a lot of stuff. It has made me think whenever I've been doing certain jobs that they are beneath me, and it's always left me with a sense of I should be somewhere else. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this kind of job. I should be somewhere else. I should be doing something that's more aligned. I should be doing something that I enjoy more. Why am I so stressed? Why am I feeling these kind of emotions? And I have to be honest with myself and say I have possibly held myself back. If you're in your early 20s and you are constantly obsessed with this idea of success, I'd suggest relaxing, but also thinking exactly what it is that you want from success, but more importantly, asking why. Why do you want to succeed in the first place? And what is it you want to succeed at? At first, when I first started self-improvement a few years ago, I had this idea of success in my mind and I didn't really know where it came from, but it was certainly there. And I guess it's something that society has embedded into us, this idea of success. And we could probably all have the same idea. You know, it's probably thinking of a mansion, a nice car, a nice wife. And we probably all imagine the same thing. But why is that? Well, I guess it's because it's been planted there, not by ourselves, but from somebody else. So I think it's really important to sort of detach from that. And I think when you become so attached to something, you really repulse it. And what I mean by that is if you're so attached to becoming successful, then quite oppositely, you might be trapping yourself and repulsing any positive opportunities that may be presented to you. You might be repulsing them because you're so attached to the idea of becoming successful. And really, I think it is a coping mechanism. I genuinely do believe it's a coping mechanism. And, you know, it could be a few different reasons as to why you have this coping mechanism. You know, most likely it's come from the past, and in order to gain someone's approval, you thought this would be the best idea to do that. But you'll later realize that's not going to happen. You know, as corny as it sounds, everything comes from within. So anything you're seeking outside of yourself isn't going to satisfy you. Everything must begin within. So I've had to seriously analyze my own goals, and for a long period of time I wasn't really sure what was success to me, and I've found it really difficult finding out what it is exactly I want in life. And I think there's a whole lot of pressure on finding exactly what it is you want to do, and I guess sticking to that and committing to it for a certain amount of time. But I would actually go for a bit of different advice, and I'm not perfect. Look, I'm going through the process myself. So, you know, do whatever you want with my advice. I don't really care. At the end of the day, this is what I'm doing. And I've been somebody that's been so fixated on outcomes and becoming a certain thing and thinking, oh, maybe I should be a psychologist or maybe I should become an actor, and placing so much emphasis on picking one thing and that'll be me set for the rest of my life. That's what I need to do. I need to go to an acting school. I need to go back into uni and study psychology, and then I'll become a great psychologist in a few years. And You know what? The more I think about those kind of ideas, the more I think, well, it's actually quite exciting not knowing what you want to do. So that's where I'm currently at. I'm currently at a stage of my life where I'm shifting my mindset a little bit and saying to myself, it's actually exciting not knowing exactly what I want to do. And this is what I am going to do. And I am simply going to live my life in a way where, I'm going to fail a lot. I'm going to learn. And I'm not going to get so fixated on picking one thing. If there is a point in time where I think, actually, you know what? I want to devote my whole time and effort to this because this is really benefiting me, then absolutely I will do that. But I'm at a stage where I'm still in a bit of a limbo. I'm unsure. I think this is the best time for me. And if you're someone similar to me, then go out there and just book the flight or go somewhere by yourself or change that job or live somewhere completely different, take up a new class, whatever it may be. You will have a better idea than me. I can only think for myself. You can think for yourself. Do it. Do it, because I'm sick and tired of constantly feeling like I'm waiting for something to happen. And that's probably a common consensus for a lot of people. And we tend to vicariously live through people, whether that's through movies, Netflix series, YouTube, TikTok. We're such consumers, and that's the thing. We're falling victim to that because of society. That it does want to make us into consumers, because the more consumers you have, the more beneficial to the people that are creating the content or whatever it may be. It's more profitable for them. So you have to sort of change that mindset from being a consumer and start creating yourself. And you're going to feel embarrassed, but that's part of the process. At least you can look back at it in a few years, and if you still have the videos or whatever it is that you're trying to create, you can look at it and laugh at it, and you can go, wow, that was funny. Like, look at me back then and look at me now. At least you can have that point of reference. If there's one positive you can take from it, maybe you get ridiculed, maybe you get bullied, maybe whatever, you get insults from your mates. Forget about it. It doesn't really matter. That's the thing. Nothing really matters, and that's the freeing. That's the freeing part of this. Society does a great job of making you feel nihilistic, and I guess one of the movies that comes to my mind is the Batman movie, The Dark Knight, and Batman and Joker are both nihilists, but they're trying to seem different, even though underneath they're the same. They're exactly the same. They're both nihilists. The Batman wants to do good, and the Joker, the only difference is the Batman is choosing to be a servant of justice, and the Joker is choosing to obliterate everything and show how damaged society really is. So that's what the two of them are trying to unveil. But back to my point, nihilism can actually be very freeing, and I think many people do become nihilists, especially in the UK. There's definitely a consensus for that. But in the UK, loads of people become negative and they lower their standards every single day. And I guess because when they do that, they lose their sense of belief, they lose their sense of hope, and they think, there's no point of really having any hopes and dreams because they're just not going to happen. So you can look at it that way, but again, that's the most important thing. It's all about perspective. And I don't really know where I'm going with this video, but I guess I'm just kind of flowing. And the way I look at it is there are only two ways. So if you consider yourself a nihilistic person, then you can look at it and go, wow, okay, so I've been sold this absolute dream from society My dreams weren't really going to ever happen. What's the point? What's the point of doing anything? Or you can look at it and go, nothing actually really that matters. Does that make sense? Nothing really that matters. I feel like I'm still not making sense. Nothing really matters. Therefore, let me just do what I want. Let me just go out into the world and do things that I enjoy and learn and experience, because I feel like that's where so much enrichment comes from in life, is experiencing life. And that may look different for a lot of people, but I think that is the true essence of life, experiencing it to its fullest and highest quality. That is the most beautiful thing. And that is nihilism, because you're basically saying nothing really matters. So let me just go out there, do everything I want to do, without any expectations or judgments holding me back. It's very freeing. So yeah, I don't really know what the point of this video was, but I guess in essence the point is nihilism can be actually quite freeing, and therefore do what you want to do. Don't hold back. And you might look at this video and think, could I do that? If you want to do it, just go for it. Literally, there is no negative of you doing anything. Okay? So, yeah, I'll leave you on that note. In the meanwhile, keep watching the videos. I'm going to keep making a lot more content and stay consistent with it, because why the fuck not? So, yeah, here we go. Cheerio.